It's February 14th, which means today is Valentine's Day. And over the last few years, you guys always wanted to know, is Valentine's Day a thing in Germany too? So let's answer it once and for all. Hello, servus, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Feli. I'm originally from Munich, Germany, but I've been living here in Cincinnati, Ohio, on and off since 2016. Valentine's Day is something that you really can't escape in the US. Most of the stores have been looking like this ever since Christmas. Restaurants are booked out weeks in advance, and the chocolate, flower, and jewelry industry is booming. I read that about 30% of annual flower sales happen around this time of the year, and in 2023, Valentine's Day created over $25 billion in sales in the US alone. So it's a pretty big deal here.
There is a whole lot of love in this room.
Is it me, or is Valentine's Day this year on steroids?
No, I think it was like this last year. We just played for the other team.
While many people seem to believe that Valentine's Day is an invention made up by the flower industry, or strictly a capitalist holiday from the US, it actually originated in Europe all the way back in the 5th century when Pope Gelasius declared February 14th St. Valentine's Day. So it's a Christian holiday then? Well, nobody knows for sure where it truly originated from, but it's very likely that it's kind of a mix of an old pagan ritual that was combined with the story of a Christian saint later on, as it happened with a lot of holidays, Easter being one example. The pagan ritual was called Lupercalia and was celebrated in ancient Rome from February 13th to the 15th with the goal of purifying the city and promoting health and fertility. The details of this festival are pretty morbid, but to sum it up, they sacrificed a goat for fertility and a dog for purification, and then used the goat hides, so the skin, to slap women and crop fields to make them fertile. The festival also included a matchmaking lottery where all the young women placed their names in a jar, and the bachelors then drew a name and were coupled up with that woman for up to a year, or if it was a good match, it would even end in marriage. Now, for the Christian part of Valentine's Day history, there are at least 3 different saints in the Catholic Church called Valentine or Valentinus, who are all associated with some type of love story, so it's not quite clear which of them the day was really named after. According to legend, one of these Valentines secretly married young couples after, in the 3rd century, Emperor Claudius II had ordered men to stay single to be better soldiers. So he helped these people break the law in the name of love. Another Valentine supposedly helped Christians escape Roman prisons. He's also the one said to have created the very first Valentine's card when he fell in love with the jailer's daughter and wrote her a letter from prison before his execution, signed with "From your Valentine." Whether any of this is true or not, we'll probably never know. Other factors in the development of this holiday could have been that the Normans used to celebrate something called Valentine's Day, around the same time of the year, which meant lover of women. And since that sounds kind of similar to Valentine, it could have been confused at some point. Also, during the Middle Ages, people in France and England believed that February 14th was the beginning of bird mating season. So at the end of the day, there are lots of factors that could have played a role as to why February 14th was associated with love and romance. However, after the church officially declared St. Valentine's Day in the 5th century, it ended up taking another few hundred years until the day officially took on that meaning of love. During the Middle Ages, it was first referenced in different poems and literature. The English poet Geoffrey Chaucer, for example, wrote in 1382, "For this was on St. Valentine's Day, when every bird comes here to choose his match." Originally written in Middle English. And Charles, Duke of Orleans, wrote a poem to his wife in the year 1415 when he was imprisoned in the Tower of London, where he said, "I'm already sick of love, my very gentle Valentine." And in the year 1600, even Shakespeare referenced Valentine's Day in Hamlet when Ophelia says, "Tomorrow is St. Valentine's Day, all in the morning be time, and I a maid at your window to be your Valentine." Sending a Valentine, meaning a Valentine's card, then became increasingly popular in the United Kingdom, where they started to be mass-produced with pre-written messages in the early 19th century, decorated with lace and ribbons. In the year 1840, about 400,000 Valentines were mailed in the UK alone. And when the British chocolate company Cadbury then created heart-shaped boxes with filled chocolates in 1868, those became a popular Valentine's gift as well. And the hype for Valentine's cards and chocolates quickly took over in the US and other English-speaking countries too. Today, Valentine's Day in the US isn't just celebrated by couples in romantic relationships. It's actually a day where everyone can show their loved ones how much they mean to them, including friends, parents, and other relatives. In fact, it's pretty common for children to make Valentine's cards at school to give to their classmates, their teachers, and their parents. And I guess some kids even get a gift for Valentine's Day, like in this Full House episode from the 80s.
Happy Valentine's Day! Well, these are from all three of us. DJ, this is for you. And Steph, this is for you. And come here, Michelle, this one's for you. Right.
I've also received Valentine's cards from friends here, kind of like a Christmas card. And among girls, it's also common to have a so-called Galentine's get-together with friends, usually a few days before Valentine's Day, kind of how people have a Friendsgiving get-together with their friends around Thanksgiving. And many single people here also make plans with friends on Valentine's Day itself instead of going on a date, sometimes in order to feel less lonely on this day.
Well, tomorrow's Valentine's Day and everything is pink and red, so Bev very thoughtfully suggested that we wear purple to show how little we care. And we don't care about some stupid, sexist corporate holiday.
Generally, Valentine's Day is definitely targeted more towards women. They're usually the ones who get presents from men and not so much the other way around. Linguistically, as a non-native English speaker, I've always found it interesting that the word Valentine kind of takes on different meanings in this context. On the one hand, a Valentine can be a Valentine's card, as I mentioned earlier, or nowadays just any type of Valentine's gift. On the other hand, a Valentine can be your date, your lover, your sweetheart on that day. So you can ask someone, will you be my Valentine? Or you can say that your significant other is your Valentine. And even though Valentine's Day in the US is also celebrated by kids and friends, the main target group are definitely people in romantic relationships. A lot of couples here have plans for the day, whether they just spend a romantic night at home, or go out for dinner, or see a movie. And if you're not officially a couple yet, going on a date on Valentine's Day definitely has a special meaning. All in all, about 53% of Americans have plans for Valentine's Day this year, which is less than it used to be in the early 2000s, but still a lot of people. And about 9 million marriage proposals take place on Valentine's Day in the US. But let's get to the part that you all clicked on this video for. What is Valentine's Day like in Germany? Do we even celebrate it? Well, the answer is jein. So yes and no. As I mentioned earlier, Valentine's Day became pretty big in the English-speaking world throughout the 19th century, but it wasn't until the late 20th and early 21st century, so really not that long ago, that the custom spread to countries all over the world. In Germany, it didn't really become a thing until after World War II, when American and British soldiers brought the tradition with them, but it took a while to really catch on. Over the last few decades, it's definitely become a thing in Germany though. Especially grocery stores and other businesses set up decorations and sell all kinds of gifts, but it's not nearly as intense as it is here in the US. And a lot of Germans also kind of consider it a commercialized American holiday that they're not a big fan of. It's kind of similar to Halloween. You can watch my video on that right here, where many Germans from my generation love celebrating it, mainly because we grew up seeing it in American pop culture, but especially among the older generations, a lot of people aren't very comfortable with this new foreign tradition in their country. What's surprising is that according to a survey from last year, more than half of Germans said that they generally do celebrate Valentine's Day, even though most of them don't celebrate it every year. 47% of people responded that they don't celebrate Valentine's Day at all, and about 1/3 of people said that they consider Valentine's Day irrelevant. The numbers also show that Valentine's Day is more popular among younger Germans, which lines up with my observation too. A big difference between Germany and the US is that in Germany, Valentine's Day is something exclusively for adults. Kids usually have nothing to do with it. They don't give Valentine's cards to their parents or anything. For me, the first time I came in touch with it was when I started Gymnasium in 5th grade, so German secondary school, where all students from 5th to 13th grade are in one school, and the student government organized these Valentine's roses, where if you wanted to, you could sign up and give a rose to someone, either with your name or anonymously. And I think think they had red roses, pink, and yellow ones for friends. And then on Valentine's Day, they went from classroom to classroom and handed out the roses. Among the Germans who do celebrate Valentine's Day, I would say what they do is pretty similar to what people do here in the US, except that they tend to spend a little less money. But chocolates and flowers are definitely popular, and just spending a nice evening together. What's interesting is that I've also come across several articles which mentioned that pigs have kind of become a Valentine's Day symbol in Germany. I honestly have no clue if that's true or not. It's definitely news to me. I mean, we do use pigs as a symbol for luck, especially around New Year's, das Glücksschwein, but since they apparently also stand for lust, I've read that they're now also used for Valentine's Day. So to the Germans among you, is that true? Please let me know in the comments below. For me personally, Valentine's Day honestly never felt like a big deal in Germany. I mean, I never dreaded the day when I was single, and when I was in relationships, I remember doing something for Valentine's Day, but other days like birthdays or anniversaries always seemed way more important. According to this survey from 2014, over a third of Germans actually did say that they think they can show their love on any other day of the year and don't need Valentine's Day for that. Now, here in the US, Ben and I do celebrate it, but I kind of just view it as a nice occasion to plan something fun that we could do on any other day of the year too, but then we never actually end up doing it, so Valentine's Day is just a good motivator. By the way, the Catholic Church actually ended up removing St. Valentine's Day from the general Roman calendar in 1969 due to historical uncertainty about the saint, but by that time it was long established as the day of love, and not even the Catholic Church could stop it from taking over the world. So now I would love to know, do you celebrate Valentine's Day? And if so, how do you celebrate, and where are you from? Is it common in your country? I'd also love to hear from my fellow Germans what your experience is and what's up with those pigs. If you enjoy my videos, don't forget to subscribe and check out felifromgermany.com for really cool Valentine's Day gifts with a German touch. Even if you just order it today, it's the idea that counts, not the timing. And if you want to see what Ben and I are up to today, check out my Instagram and other social media accounts right here. Happy Valentine's Day, everyone! Whether you're just at home by yourself or on a romantic date, what matters is that you do something that you enjoy, no matter what society expects you to do. And with that, I hope I'll see you next time. Tschüss!